Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer, Pfeiffer Hobby Supply once again. We're already all the way up to video 20 and I'm going to show you what I've been doing here lately. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I will put this probably out tonight. This is Saturday, and for all you mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Hope everybody has a good Mother's Day. Hope everybody enjoys their day, especially the moms, and let's get on with what I've gotten done. Okay, everybody. What is this, Wednesday. Came out here, decided to try and make this bridge fit. So there is a template of my roadway that I'm going to cut out of plastic. And here it is going off the layout. And if I get down off the stool, you can see how it will go over the track there. And then meet up with the road crossing. Then that road crossing will meet up and go over to the other bridge over there. So we're getting it done here. Okay, guys. Once I have made those templates that I showed you, I go inside, I cut them out, I go inside, and I cut them out of styrene. And this styrene I have is about that thick. And what it is go to Lowe's or go to Home Depot and buy a for sale sign. They're much easier to cut up and much more economical than trying to find a sheet that's that big to cut that styrene out of. But I haven't tried to test fit it yet, but I'll show you in just a second. Okay, that's kind of what it looks like. What I'm going to do is right here where it meets, I'm going to draw a line on that styrene, and I'm going to put a piece of styrene under it and glue that up under the bottom of the bridge so that I can make the bridge asphalt the same height as the asphalt, or at least the base on the styrene that I'm putting down. Over here, it's kind of the opposite. I'm going to, this doesn't quite fit under here yet, but the idea is to get it to fit under the notches on both sides, and it'll come out to the edge there, and that's how it'll work. That'll be the road. And the only reason I need to do that here is because this is all on a slope, as you can see it here. And how I'm going to hold that slope up is hot glue. So there'll be hot glue underneath there to hold that up once I get it glued to the bridge and get the bridge glued in place and get the other end glued in place. So anyway, that's how I do it. And you'll see the results when I get there. Okay, everybody, there is the styrene glued to the bridge on both ends. And you can see that it makes, well, you can't really see because it's white, but it makes a pretty smooth transition across the bridge, and it will make a nice bed for the foam road bed here, which I plan on using all the way down and all the way underneath the track over there. So, in fact, I like it, so I'm going to be using it all over the place. So, anyway, that's how I built the underlayment for the bridge, and I've got the hot glue gun going so that I can hot glue the bridge in place and support some of that plastic. Not all of it. I'm just going to support it in a few places, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, guys. I have the bridge in place, and as you saw, but I have all the dirt, or not, the plaster around the edge of the road, with the exception of coming down the hill, which I need to use some plaster cloth on. I have some plastering done around to the corner over there. I've got to do something about the way this looks, and I'm not exactly sure what to do yet, but I will figure it out and get there in a bit, because I'm getting ready. I mixed up just a little tiny bit of plaster. Whoops, that's the wrong container. Hold on. It's over here. I mixed up just a little bit of straight gypsulate to patch around the bridge there. And I did that. Now I've got to get some plaster cloth out and do a little bit of plaster cloth around this stuff over here so that I can continue on plastering before I mix up a big batch of plaster. So we're going to work on a little bit of plaster cloth. Okay, gang, except for a little patch right here and that what I showed you over there, pretty much got all this plastered in over here, all the way down to where you see it light colored. So from here on, it's just going on down there. Just keep working my way down. But if you get down here, it's starting to take shape. Okay, everybody, I forgot to mention, right in here, I'm thinking about putting the roadside attraction with my arrow and all that stuff. And their little abode over there somewhere. And then I'll have some signs going that way and some signs going that way on the other side of the bridge to stop at the curio shop. That's the thinking anyway. We'll see. And then I left this little flat spot in here to put something else in here. And of course, as I said, the flat spot up there, all this flat area, kind of relatively flat area up in here will be the ranch house. Okay, everybody. You've seen this, but I've got filled in all around the bridge, and I've done this little outcropping here in between the tracks. And I have basically done all along the back, down to where I stopped doing plaster cloth. And in one case, all the way down there to the end of the it's to the end of all the plaster cloth. This is pretty much what it looks like. Did around the bridges, filled in everything. The only thing I don't like is I have this weird transition here between where the backdrop stops. And what I'm going to do is fill that in with some wet newspaper, and I'm going to build that hill up right there in between the backdrop and where the hill goes up on the, well, right over there. So I'm going to make a hill there. And probably it'll be like that, the train is coming out of a cut there, sort of. So I got to build that up and put some plaster on that. But if we look from down here, we have that much plaster done. I have not put any kind of plaster. I think I've said it before, but I have not and will not put any plaster in this flat area behind the yard here because I just don't know what's going in there yet. And of course, once I finish the back there, all this can be reached very easily. So there's no need to worry about that right now. So I guess the next thing I got to do is I got to finish that little underpass over there where the road is going to go. Finish putting in plaster cloth down to the other plaster cloth over there. Then I can continue plastering all the way down there. As you can see, I left a place for my road to go and then cross the tracks and then go over that way. Because it's easier than just putting it there and scraping it off later. So if we stand back here and do a little panoramic eye level view, this is my eye level view, you can kind of see what all that looks like tied together. So I think what I'm going to do is vacuum this up, clean this up just a little bit down here, and roll my trains back and try and run some trains. I'm getting kind of tired of plastering, so I think I'm going to try and run some trains. I got a bunch of stuff to pick up over here too. By the way, I think I showed it maybe, but we tried some of the celluclay on rock formations over here, and I think it's going to look kind of cool. The one that's up there by the Indian ruins turned out pretty nice. But they do take a little plaster over the top of that stuff, and it would be just a smooth plaster. But we'll worry about that another day over here. That's really all I got to show you today. Okay, everybody, I'm hoping that you go check out the vintage page. Apparently I said that in the last video and nobody paid attention to it, so I want you guys to pay attention to it. So go take a look at the vintage page, see if there's anything there you need, and that's the end of this one. Okay, everybody, that's it for video 20. I hope you enjoyed this one, short and sweet, and we will talk to you again sometime after Mother's Day.